has been a really big issue. Lots of fisticuffs around the water cooler on this one. Fascinating subject. And it's about the strange story of Rachel Dolezal, who identifies as black when she is white. Is that okay? You can be transgender. Can we be transracial? I might go to Damien Christie on this one first. Damien.
Yeah, well, actually, it's weird because I've now found a man who identifies as white even though he's not. Is that right, Tyrone?
No.
Okay, no, right. So we're not having fun with that. No, okay. Tyrone Russell, welcome along to Backbenchers. Thanks very much for coming along. We found you, my producer found you, because you have come to New Zealand and you set up a stall and it's basically ask a black man any question you want. Am I right? Tell me why and how and, you know, so many questions.
Well, I moved here and I realized there was a lot of misinformation about African Americans and the black experience. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be funny if I just set up a stall that said, ask a black American, and took questions.
Because I went into Google today, and if you type in, why do black people or do black people, the questions that people want to know, according to Google, they're not good ones. They involve things like watermelon, fried chicken, you know, all that sort of stuff. Are those the questions that you got?
That and grape soda, yeah. Yeah, I get that a lot.
What questions do people actually ask, though?
There are things about what's it like to grow up in the ghetto. How well do I sing? Do I play basketball?
Because that's my experience in New Zealand, I think, because we're not directly connected with that, you know, American context. Often, maybe the stereotypes we have are more positive things, like, oh, I wish I had that much rhythm. I wish I was effortlessly cool, you know, looked good in clothes and stuff and could dance. But
well, some of those stereotypes are true. But, you know, I grew up Catholic, so I don't sing any of that. Yeah. I teach yoga, so I don't play basketball. You know, I eschew the stereotypes.
Okay, the topic du jour, Rachel. Is it a thing where you can be white on the outside but feel that you're black and therefore you're black? Is that a thing?
That is not a thing. Not a thing.
See, a white person couldn't have done that, right? What do you make of it, though?
It's ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. And at its core, I believe a lot of this conversation is based on racism. The fact that her white privilege has allowed her to feel like she could become the head of the NAACP. That is our organization. That's like a Pakia woman deciding, you know what? I'm gonna become the head of the Māori Women's Welfare League. You people would have beat her down. And so it's not a thing, it's not okay.
Well, actually, we've probably got someone we can ask on the panel about that. Well, thank you very much, Tyrone, for your time. Really appreciate you coming along. Round of applause, thank you for Tyrone. Wallace, back to you.
Well, let's go to Marama Fox here. What do you think about this? Does race matter? Do you think that Rachel should have been allowed to, because she apparently does great work for the NAACP, she feels African American. What is wrong with that?
Listen, if she wants to do great work for the NAACP, good on her, go for it. But does that make her a black woman? No, it doesn't. There are people in New Zealand who affiliate or feel close to Māori culture, because Māori culture can pose itself over a number of different cultures. I call it being ambicultural. So I'm ambidextrous. I've been raised in a Pākehā culture, gone to school in a Pākehā culture. I can walk in that world, but I also walk in a Māori world. For me, that's ambicultural. But does that make me Dutch or French? No, it doesn't. You know? So I think you can affiliate to a culture, but you have to be born to that
Let's go to Julianne Genter. What do you think
race.
about this? I mean, you're from the States, so you might have an understanding of how race is seen there, but do you think that Rachel, she implicitly feels, she said from the age of 5, I felt African American?
I think it's a really sad story, and it's a really unusual one. I mean, I don't think it's very common. We haven't seen many cases of this before. I think she took it way too far. It's one thing to recognize the systematic disadvantages that African Americans face in the United States and fight for justice. That's a good thing, but I think it's wrong to mislead people, and it's wrong to pretend you're something you're not.
Phil, she's had a lot of support. She's had a lot of people come out saying she's really built up the NAACP brand, the accounts are in good order. She's done great work as the head of this black organisation.
Yeah, and I saw the original statement from the NAACP, and they said, look, we'll have anybody that works in and is part of our organisation, and that's fine. Look, I think you can identify with whatever culture you like, or you can identify with whatever ethnicity you like.
Okay.
But hang on, let me finish it, because it's important. But I don't think you've got the right to say that you are something that you're not.
But hang on.
And that was her problem.
In this complex world, if I'm a man and I want to be a woman, that's acceptable in society, transgender. But what about being transracial? Can you be transracial?
Well,
Can you be...
If you are either African American or you're not, and if you're not, you shouldn't pretend that you are. That shouldn't necessarily stop you identifying with that culture and that ethnicity.
Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that I can't wake up tomorrow and want to be French. I don't think you can change your race. But to me, it is a little bit complicated because, for example, if Marama had a child, a Pākehā child that she took into her family and raised alongside her other children, then they probably would grow up identifying more with the Maori culture and being part of a Maori family. So, you know, it is quite a complicated.
I'll come back to you.
But you can't change your race.
I want to go to the audience, see what the audience think about this one.
Yeah, I'm interested here. Let's get some opinions from the table. Everyone's looked away as soon as I've gone down there. Hello, how are you?
Hello, good, thank you.
What do you think about this issue?
It's very, very topical. It's very, very interesting, and it raises a lot of debate.
Have you been listening at all? You don't know. You could have said that about any of the last 3 panels that we had. Okay, do you think it's possible if you're here in New Zealand, you're a Pākehā, but you wake up one day and you start saying, I'm Māori? Is that a thing you can do?
I think that the last speaker said something along the lines that if you're raised with that family, then logically you would feel that you identify with them, and that's where it becomes complicated.
All right, moving right along. Hello there. Same question to you. Yes. Oh my goodness. Hello. What do you think?
I'm with her.
You're with her? Very good. Nice and easy cop out. This chap's a journalist, I think. Hello there. How are you?
I don't have a position.
You don't have a position? What do you think, though?
I think it is a complicated one, but I think the woman was committing fraud.
Committing fraud. There you go. How do you describe yourself? I'm being asked by the producer.
As a journalist.
As a journalist. I mean, I guess, you know, the box on the census. New Zealander?
New Zealand European.
There you go, New Zealand European. See, it's kind of easier here, isn't it? I don't know. What about over here? Hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
You've got some pounamu around your neck. Are you Māori?
A little bit.
A little bit. There you go. How do you identify? Fascinating. How do you identify?
Mainly Pākehā, but also a little bit Māori.
Okay, wonderful. Wallace, you?
See, that's what...
Bit Fijian, Wallace.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, see, my dad is from Whangandae. He's born in a little village in the Overlau. He's Fijian. My nana is black. Do I look it? But I identify as Pākehā. You see, that's where it gets complicated. I fully identify as Pākehā. I don't identify as Fijian.
You know, Wallace, we've had people in our party who are non-Māori, who are Pākehā, who speak Māori, who understand kaupapa Māori, who work in our office, who have contributed hugely to our party, but they will never stand up and say, I'm Māori. And they don't. But do we reject them for that? No, we don't. Do they feel included in our party and in our community and on the marae? Yes, they do. So affiliation is one thing. But you can change your gender through an operation. How do you change your race? You can't get an operation to change that.
Because race is deeper. Race is inculcated in society. It's more a societal thing. It's how you feel. That's what I'm trying to say. It's how you feel.
Look, our people often feel very Pākehā growing up in New Zealand, being disenfranchised from being Māori, but they still, on the outside, may look Māori. A lot of people in Kaitahu don't look Māori and get treated a different way. The thing is, it's how you identify you're right on the inside, but people who are non-Māori, who speak Māori, who get on with the Māori community, they still will not put their hand up and say, I'm Māori.
All right. Hey, Damien, are you still there? Are we able to sort of just jump back to Tyrone and to hear final thoughts on what he's picked up from the panel?
Yeah, now that you've absorbed all that wisdom from our MPs and the audience out there, what do you think? I don't know. Have you had your...
Here's the deal. I think it's wrong to conflate gender with race because those two things are completely different and shouldn't be put in the same sentence. Because to have those conversations about transgender, connecting them to transracial, which is not a thing, tells me that you have a very limited understanding of both gender and of race.
Can you come back on our show like most weeks?
Call me.
Thank you very much.